restaurant.
It may not surprise you, but Calgary and Toronto have been ranked among the top 10 most prosperous cities in the world, according to a newly released report from the Toronto Board of Trade. The report examines the economies and the workforce of 24 major global metropolitan areas. And here to tell us more is Richard Joy, the Vice President of Policy and Government Relations at the Toronto Board of Trade. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you.
We're going to show the folks at home a list of the top 10, and one of my favorite places on the planet is Paris. Paris is magical, but what makes it so prosperous? Why is Paris number one on your list?
Well, there are 33 indicators that we measure 25 or so cities against, and Paris is come out on top overall for a variety of reasons, but some of its leading indicators, it's number one in high tech. It is
No kidding.
It is leading in terms of disposable income. If you live in Paris, you've got more disposable income than any of the other 25 cities. It's got a fantastic market potential, 500-mile radius. Those are kinds of things. Livability is very, very high. Of course, transit, some 75% of all travel is non-auto in Paris. I think that's something. There's a number of factors, but those are some of the leading.
You haven't mentioned the food and wine yet.
Right, which we don't even consider. It might be off the charts if we did that. Yes.
Okay, Calgary rates really highly.
Right.
We love Calgary because of what?
Well, Calgary, oil and gas, sure. Calgary, though, is a growth story phenomenon, and in so many ways, it's productivity growth, it's population growth, it's GDP growth. It is a lot of things going for it. It's also a highly livable city. We know that Mayor Nenshi is actually going to be speaking at our podium on Friday, and I no doubt he's going to take great pleasure in.
This is in Ottawa?
No, it's in Toronto, and on Friday, and so no doubt he'll take great pleasure in explaining why Calgary is doing so well. But Calgary is indeed number two in our 25 city indicators.
Yeah, I don't know there are many Canadians who would say Paris and Calgary in the same sentence, but maybe we'll have to get used to that. Toronto's number 6.
Number 3. Overall, which is in the middle of the pack on an economic domain. So there's two domains that we put together. One is some more quality of life or labor attractiveness, and the other is more hard economic. And you balance those together, we actually come out at number 3, which is a positive story, but it's also a cautionary story. Again, in the economic domain, we're in the middle of the pack. When you look toward the future, as this report begins to do more than our 5 previous ones, Toronto's future is a mediocre future unless we take some actions that we're pointing to in this report. But it still does fairly well, and it's a fairly optimistic overall mark for the city.
To break into the top 10 in the world of municipalities, do you have to have good government ongoing for decades? You can't change government and change a city overnight. Can't be done.
I think that's a very good point, and you know that the big city mayors of Canada are in Ottawa tomorrow, and I think what you're going to see from them is looking for the federal government to take a more stable, long-term approach to big cities, not as much of a one-off kind of approach. And this government has been very positive for cities, to be clear, and some of the things that it's done, like a gas tax transfer, as a long-term permanent kind of move that is very positive. But more things are done on a short-term basis, and that's got to change. We need to be thinking, to your question, in a longer-term, stable kind of way, and that's the corner that I think we have to turn.
Richard Joy is the Vice President of Policy and Government Relations at Toronto's Board of Trade. Thank you very much for this. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Canada's Golden Girls have
Hi, Bug.
our Olympic women's
Say hi.
team is back
Say good job,
from
Richard.
Brazil
Good
after
job,
a near
Richard.
perfect performance in Sochi.